Alright, welcome back to my series discussing jazz improvisation. We've been specifically looking at how to use bebop scales. In the previous lessons, we looked at a 2-5-1 in the key of C major, so D minor 7 to a G dominant 7 to a C major 7. So we looked at how to use the major bebop scales over the 1 chord and how to use the dominant bebop scale of the 5 chord over the 2 and the 5. So it's using the C major bebop scale over the 1 chord. We're using a G dominant bebop scale over the D minor 7 and the G dominant 7. So we looked at how to start off not only the root but the 3rd and the 5th. You can start off the 6th of the major bebop scale or the flat 7th of the dominant bebop scale. You can also start off other tones too, but we're not going to go into that right now. So now we need to look at how to actually use these scales over an actual tune. So we're going to look at one of my favorites. This is Misty by Erroll Garner. We're only going to look at the A section. So the A section of this song is E flat major 7 in the key of E flat, to B flat minor 7 to E flat dominant 7 to an A flat major 7. Then bar 4, it goes A flat minor 7 to a D flat dominant 7. Bar 5, E flat major 7 to a C minor 7. F minor 7 to a B flat dominant 7. And the turnaround for the first A section. G minor 7 to a C dominant 7. F minor 7 to a B flat dominant 7, right? Just so that you get to hear the tune, I'm going to play the first A section for you. That's what the tune sounds like. So now, before we were mostly in this position here, so our C major bebop scale, you can also play it from here. It's the same notes. You could play it from here, or here, or here, or here. For the G dominant bebop scale, we were learning it mostly here. You could do this, or this, or this, or this. There are tons of ways to play it. So you don't have to know all the different fingerings at once, but the more you learn, the easier it will be to put together a cohesive jazz solo. So first, let's just start out playing Misty, or soloing over Misty, by descending the bebop scale of each chord from the root of that chord. So over the bar 1, that's E flat major 7, we're going to descend from the E flat, which is the 11th fret of the high E string. Over bar 2, we have a B flat minor 7 to a D flat dominant 7. We're going to descend, to an E flat dominant 7. We're going to descend from the E flat again. Now we're going to go to the 3rd bar, A flat major 7. We're going to descend from the root, A flat, so that's the 9th fret of the B string. Okay, then bar 4, we're going to go to an A flat minor 7 to a D flat dominant 7. We're going to descend from the D flat, the 9th fret of the high E string. Now we're going to go bar 5, it goes E flat major 7 to a C minor 7. Now, the C minor 7 is just the relative minor of the E flat major 7. So we're just going to treat that whole bar as an E flat major 7, and we're going to play the E flat major bebop scale. Then bar 6, F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7. We're just going to descend the B flat dominant bebop scale from the root, the B flat, which is the 11th fret of the B string. Then we have the turnaround in bar 7 and 8. So G minor 7 to a C dominant 7. So we're going to descend the C bebop scale, dominant bebop scale, from the C, the 8th fret of the high E string. And then from over the bar 8, the F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7, we're going to descend the B flat dominant bebop scale again from the root, 11th fret of the B string, B flat. So first I'm going to do this in 8th notes, then I'm going to do it in 16th notes. So in 8th notes, it looks like this. A flat major 7, D flat dominant, E flat major 7, B flat dominant, C dominant 7, B flat dominant. So now, using 16th notes, we're just going to leave some space. We're going to go 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and 2, like that. So again, we're just starting off the root of each chord. So here we go. Flat major, C dominant, B flat dominant. Now we're going to ascend each bebop scale from the root of each chord. So over the E flat major 7, we're going to ascend from the E flat, the 8th fret of the G string, 1 and 2 and 3. Then over the B flat minor 7 to E flat dominant 7, we're going to ascend the E flat dominant bebop scale from the root. Same 8th fret of the G string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So now we're going to go to the A flat major 7. We're going to go to this A flat, 11th fret of the A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then bar 4, we go A flat minor 7 to a D flat dominant 7. So we're going to ascend the D flat dominant bebop scale from the root, D flat, 11th fret of the D string. And 2. Bar 5, E flat major 7 to C minor 7. We're going to ascend the E flat major bebop scale. Then we go F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7. We're going to ascend the B flat dominant bebop scale. So from the 8th fret of the D string, B flat. Now we're at the turnaround. G minor 7 to C dominant 7. We're going to ascend from the C, 10th fret of the D string. And then 8th bar, the last bar of the first A section. F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7. Ascend from the B flat again. Okay, so I'm going to do this in 8th notes and then in 16th notes. Here we go. Bar 5. Turn around, C dominant bebop scale. B flat dominant. I'm going to do that in 16th notes. So here we go. D flat dominant. Bar 5. Okay, so now we're going to alternate ascending and descending. So example 3, we're going to descend the first one over the E flat major 7, then we're going to ascend and just keep alternating. So this is a great exercise. We're going to start over the bar 1, the E flat major 7. We're going to descend the E flat major 7 bebop scale, or E flat major bebop scale. And then over bar 2, we're going to ascend the E flat dominant bebop scale. Over bar 3, we're going to descend the A flat major 7 bebop, or we're going to descend the A flat major bebop scale from the A flat, the 9th fret of the B string. Bar 4, over the A flat minor 7 to D flat dominant 7, we're going to ascend from the D flat, the 11th fret of the D string. Bar 5, E flat major 7 to C minor 7, we're going to descend the E flat major 7, or the E flat major bebop scale from the root, the E flat, the 11th fret of the high E string. Then we're going to ascend the B flat dominant bebop scale over the F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7. So from the root, the 8th fret of the D string is B flat. Then the turnaround, the G minor 7 to C dominant 7. We're going to descend from the C, the 8th fret of the high E string. Then over the final bar of the first A section, the F minor 7 to the B flat dominant 7, we're going to ascend the B flat dominant bebop scale from the root, 8th fret of the D string. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate first using only 8th notes, and then I'm going to do it in 16th notes. Bar 5. Turn around. So now, using 16th notes, here we go. Bar 5. Turn around, C, dominant bebop scale. Ascend. Example 4, we're going to use the same idea, but this time we're going to start by ascending over the E flat major 7, and then we're going to descend and just keep alternating. So over the first bar, E flat major 7, we're going to ascend from the root, E flat. It's the 8th fret of the G string. In bar 2, over the B flat minor 7 to E flat dominant 7, we're going to descend the E flat dominant bebop scale from the root, the 11th fret of the high E string. And then over the A flat major 7, we're going to ascend from the root, A flat, 11th fret of the A string. Then over bar 4, the A flat minor 7 to D flat dominant 7, we're going to descend the D flat dominant bebop scale from the D flat, 9th fret of the high E string. Bar 5, E flat major 7 to C minor 7. We're going to ascend the E flat major 7 bebop scale from the root, 8th fret of the G string. Then we're going to, over the F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7, we're going to descend from the B flat, it's the 11th fret of the B string. We're going to descend the B flat dominant bebop scale. Then the turnaround, G minor 7 to C 7. We're going to ascend the C dominant bebop scale from the root C, the 10th fret of the D string. And we're going to descend the B flat dominant bebop scale over the F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7. This is bar 8. So over the loop, I'll do it in 8th notes and then 16th notes. So here it is. Bar 5. So now in 16th notes, here it goes. Descending the D flat dominant 7, bar 5. Turn around, C dominant bebop scale. So we've been starting off the root every time. You, just like in the previous lessons, you could start from the 3rd or the 5th or whatever else that you wanted, and you could make, there's a lot of great exercises you could do. You could, from the 3rd, it's a great exercise, and because the next thing we're going to do, we're going to try to play more like I would actually play in an actual jazz solo. And the idea is that we're going to try to create a flowing, smooth line. And so we'll start one bebop scale, and as we approach the next chord, we will play the closest note in that next chord to start our next bebop scale. So over the E flat major 7, in bar 1, we'll just go ahead and start out by descending the E flat major 7 bebop scale like we've been doing. But then over bar 2, B flat minor 7 to E flat dominant 7, we can go ahead and ascend again because we're on the E flat. And 2 and 3 and 4 and now bar 3 over the A flat major 7. Instead of jumping to the root of that, we're right here at the 5th. The E flat is the 5th of A flat major 7. So we can descend the A flat major bebop scale from the 5th there. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now over the A flat minor 7 to D flat dominant 7, we can pivot and go to the 3rd of the D flat dominant 7, which is the F. So we can ascend the D flat dominant bebop scale from this F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now, and actually, in order to land on the root, we're on the E flat there. So that at the top of bar 5 we can start there. I'm gonna enclose the E flat by going D flat, E, E flat. So here's that. And 3 and 4 and 1. Now we're at the top of bar 5. We can descend the E flat major bebop scale from the root. And 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we've got to go to the B flat dominant bebop scale. So we actually happen to be on the 5th of that. That's the F. So let's go back a bar. Let's descend 2 and 3 and 4, and instead of landing on the F, let's land on the E and enclose that F. And so that way, at the top of bar 6, we can ascend the B flat dominant bebop scale from the 5th. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now we're at the turnaround. So over the G minor 7 to C7, we could go right here to the E, which is the 3rd of the C dominant bebop scale. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, instead of landing on the F again, let's enclose that F again, hit the E, E, F, so that way the downbeat of bar 8, that's the F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7, we're again on the 5th of the B flat dominant 7. So we'll ascend the B flat dominant bebop scale from there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So I'm going to do this first in 8th notes and then in 16th notes. So here it is in 8th notes. From the 5th of the A flat major 7. And close. It's bar 5. And close. I'll do this in 16th notes now. In the 5th of the A flat major 7. Bar 5. Turn around. Now, the final example that I'm going to give you today, we're just going to start by ascending the E flat major 7 bebop scale from the root. And then we're going to descend the E flat dominant bebop scale from the root, the 11th fret of the high E string. And then bar 3 over the E flat major, or the A flat major 7. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we could take it from the 5th of the A flat, which is E flat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, bar 4. We go to A flat minor 7 to D flat dominant 7. We go to the F there is the 3rd of the D flat dominant 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, now we're at bar 5. So we're already on the E there, so maybe we can kind of add that chromatic note in there, the D, so that at the top of bar 5 we can ascend from the E flat, the root of the E flat major bebop scale. Now we have landed on the D there, but over the next chord, the B flat dominant 7, well, F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7, we could descend from this D, which is the 3rd of the B flat dominant 7. So when we ascend that E major bebop scale in bar 5, let's enclose it with an E flat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we can hit the D on the downbeat of bar 6. So we're going to descend the B flat dominant bebop scale from the 3rd. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we're going to the turnaround. So G minor 7 to C dominant 7. We're going to ascend from the 3rd right here, which is a half step away, the E. So the 9th fret of the G string. Well, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But again, we're landing on that that D, the 10th fret of the high E string. So let's actually run up 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and enclose that D by hitting the E flat D. Now we can descend from there on the final bar, 8, G minor 7 to B flat, sorry, F minor 7 to B flat dominant 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, so I'm going to do that in 8th notes and in 16th notes. So here it is in 8th notes first. Chromatic note, bar 5, enclose. Okay, so in 16th notes, that'll look like this. A flat major 7, D flat dominant 7, bar 5, bar 7, okay, so hopefully you've gained some insight in how to use bebop scales over an actual jazz standard or jazz tune. The idea, you just have to work on finding different paths. It's like a puzzle. Every decision you make, whether to pivot or to start off a different chord tone, will change your path moving forward from there. So that's part of what's so fun about jazz, is that it never gets old because there are infinite options in how to make your way through a progression. Another huge thing is that I haven't introduced or talked about arpeggios yet, but I would really never play a solo using only bebop scales. I practice bebop scales separately, but I also practice my arpeggios separately, and then I combine them together. So in the upcoming lessons, we will talk about arpeggios and then how to use bebop scales and arpeggios together to create really, really nice bebop and jazz lines. So thanks for working through this with me. My name is Joe McMurray. I'm with Fret Buzz, and I'll see you next time.